Hi, it's Emily, author of Good Morning Dinah. What did I want to be when I was a child? Well, my earliest memory is that I wanted to be a mermaid, and then I wanted to be a scientist. When did I realize that I wanted to be an author? Well, I really liked creating stories all throughout my childhood. I especially liked writing in high school, and I took a state aptitude test in the state of Utah that told me that I would be a good writer and author upon graduation of high school. But it never occurred to me to make it my career path. So I went on to go to medical coding school, and I was a medical coding specialist for 7 years before I decided to pursue writing full-time. What inspired me to write Dinah? Well, the idea came to me when I was walking our service dog, Bowser, in Wisconsin, and he was just a puppy. I think he was about 4 months old. And we decided to go a different way, and a really big dog scared him. And my heart jumped into my throat, and I was like, what would her reaction be if her dog got hurt or if something happened to him? And so I came up with the idea to show not only how an autistic person would react to such a huge change, but then all these ideas came to me about reacting to these everyday changes and schedule changes and routine. So the idea of Dinah was born through our service dog, Bowser. What was it like creating Higgins? Well, Higgins was based off of Bowser, our golden retriever. Unfortunately, it is a very sad story, but my youngest daughter began having epileptic seizures every day, and Bowser had very high anxiety. And while he was a great service dog for my oldest daughter, he would run away in the snow, and I would have to deal with my youngest daughter who was seizing on the couch, and I was dealing with a lot of depression, and it just became too much. And so while it destroyed me to rehome Bowser, he is very happy with his new family. I get pictures from them regularly. My daughter, she only has seizures like once a year now, and now we have cats to help them with their autism sensory and stimulation. Were any of the characters or story moments taken from my life? Way too many. I used to fantasize just like Dinah does. I used to escape into my fantasy worlds, and I would put certain CDs in my Walkman when I went to bed at night and listen to the soundtrack and kind of make movie trailers in my head of my life of what I wanted to happen, or a fantastical scene, just like Dinah. What was the hardest thing about writing this story? I would say the education that I received from the sensitivity readers of how I could be a better representation of autism in my story when I am autistic myself and I have autistic children. It just proves that the spectrum is just so huge, and even in my writing I have found that I had reflected some of the characters as people in my life who didn't quite receive my little quirks or my stems so heartily and so accepting. So I'd say the hardest part of writing this book was to make sure that the autistic community would be comfortable in their representation. Which character was the easiest to write? Maverick was the easiest to write. Maverick, I think, is everybody's dream boy who accepts your quirks, thinks you're fascinating, laughs and tells you when you're funny, and accepts your safe spaces. The hardest character to write, probably Eliza. Eliza was difficult to write because all of the people who have ever worked with me or my children have been so fantastic. And while Eliza is very good at her job of being Dinah's aide, they do butt heads. It was kind of difficult for me to write a little bit of the butting heads. How long did it take to write the book? The idea of Dinah started as a NaNoWriMo project of 2019. And I just kind of, I didn't finish it all in 1 month, obviously. It took me the first draft took me about 3 months total. As far as crafting the story with editing and feedback and beta readers and sensitivity readers, 2.5 years. What did I learn about being an author through this whole process? That it's not easy. that there are hurdles and there is progress. The progress that you make as a writer from first draft to final is the growth of not only your characters, but you as the person who has created them. You see the world how they see it and how you want to see it. My characters have shaped me for the better. Any writing rituals? I am one of those autistic women who feels like I want to be organized. I want to have a planner. I buy a planner every single January, and I stick in my routines, and then we get to comfortable chaos again. And so my writing ritual is probably my biggest one is that I craft my characters with pictures that I find online and write all of their quirks, their likes, their dislikes, and basically turn my characters inside out before I start writing about them. One piece of advice for debut authors is don't be shy. Make those social media accounts. Be silly. Be yourself. Are you currently working on any other projects? Yes. I have recently been admitted to the Masters of Fine Arts program of writing for children and young adults at Vermont College of Fine Arts, and I begin that in January. And I have 2 very specific projects in mind that both showcase autistic women characters. One is another contemporary fiction, and one is a shot at a cozy fantasy. My favorite color is green. Any kind of green. Olive green, jade green, sea green, green. My current favorite TV show, oh my gosh, okay, in House of the Dragon. The last book I read was Greenwich Park by Catherine Faulkner. First book I ever fell in love with when I first picked up The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. My favorite dessert has a lot to do with texture. I like milkshakes. It's like not the hard of the ice cream, but it's soft. And I can drink it from a straw real slow, or I can scoop it up in a spoon. I've just always loved the texture of a milkshake, and my favorite flavor is marshmallow. The first video game I ever played. So I would beg my brothers to let me play with them on their NES, and they would unplug the second controller and pretend like I was Mario. Super Mario Brothers World 2. 3 emojis to describe my book. An infinity symbol for neurodiversity, a heart for the cute romance, the emoji with kind of the drop of sweat just to represent the anxiety and the meltdowns that happen. How would Dinah, the main character, describe her story in 3 words? Challenges, journey, and accomplishments. Secret about the story or the character that no one knows about is that Dinah does get her period, and we normalize this in a young adult book just so that people can feel more tied to the character and more grounded in the normalization of periods. But I also was going to give Dinah endometriosis, which is a condition that affects lots of young women today and complicates periods. How am I feeling on release day? If only I could describe it in about 3 GIFs, but it feels like a fever dream. It feels surreal that people are going to read my 3rd child, essentially. Thank you for joining me for this Q&A, and I hope that you all will enjoy Good Morning, Dinah.